Never sure, but have you ever seen this design before? This would come out in the center of the roulette wheel between numbers 16 through 21, and this indentation above and below is 14, 1 and 4, and 2 and 3. 1 times 4, 1 plus 4 equals 9. 2 times 3, 2 plus 3 equals 11. 5 and 6, 11. Now, I'm not really sure where I should start this, where I should go. There's so much information. I'm so out of order. I want to cry. I want to start this day off by saying Agenda 21, and I have no idea what it is, but next year, or at the end of this year, we have completed 2021 years. See, when we hit January 1st, when we hit our first birthday, we've completed our first year. When we hit our 10th birthday, we're not doing we completed 10 years. So when we complete 2020, when we arrive at 2021, we actually completed 2021 years. Because, right, when you get to your first birthday, it's not saying, okay, this is the year of my first birthday. You've completed 0 to 1. You completed 0 to 20. Now you completed 0 to 21. Agenda 21. Apparently there's a FEMA thing coming out, New World Order. All this talk is now starting on the radio. Great. Another time to sell more t-shirts, more hats, more agendas, more things. But the major thing is about this new piece that's coming out. Now they want to disarm America because of this. Any excuse, but doesn't anybody notice that the less than 1% rich and the 20% high to middle class, etc. And then there are the people who are, oh my God, we have to do it. Oh my God, we have to do it. Follow, 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 and do it because that's what they said. That's what the law is. Pay the tax. That's what the law is. That's what the law is. Who's making up all these things? Imagine they take a mixed up bunch of people, you and me, regulars, who study everything these politicians have to sell, who've already been sold by the pharmaceutical and big companies, because the big companies need to survive. And they have all the tactics in the world, okay, to get certain things done. Not all the companies, just some of them. It's never everybody. It's just the right people at the right time. And guess what? We are the majority. We're not even selling ourselves. We don't even need to be president. We just need to be the masses associated and listening to the right objectives. I started my project in 2005 about this, and I'm going on to the end about this, and I haven't spoken about this, is the objective. Let's get back to the shape. What kind of shape are you in? The dodecahedron, above and below drawn. Inside is this teeny little 2 X's put together and a top on it. And then you come to the center or below it, you replicate it, and you go below it, right over here, right? The center is not your dodecahedron. It's below the center after the mirror image is complete. And that's when you start your dodecahedron. And I can show it over here. Here's another way to show it. Why I show bigger and smaller is because these 2 area spaces have been hand sealed and delivered in creation all over the world. And it's right over here, the 2. The empty space on the 2 is your dodecahedron. It's the 54th Super Bowl this year. Oh my God, DNA underneath the sun, 2020. 02 February, 02 day of 2020. 2. Here we count it together, here we count it separately. We only need 6 of 8 because the other 2 are free. It's in your body. We connect onto the cross. Although you see 4, there's 4 empty spaces over here. The lower part, below my shoulders, planted into the ground. Anyways, I don't want to talk about that. I've got this design over here, which you can probably see 8 and then an O and an 8. What it actually is it's part of, if you take a look at RODANS COIL, the butterfly wings that come here and the butterfly wing that comes here, and then you have the open space. Now what's wrong about this picture is that the law of roulette tells me not to make squares with my numbers, but to have no space in between your phone creates that elongated, longer this way, right? And thicker this way. Across, it's almost like saying it's not 1, 2, 3, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't explain this. I'm gonna have to draw this. Maybe I should forget about this right now, but it comes out right over here. This part over here, the RODANS COIL part comes here. This piece and this piece together, or you can use, I think, this piece and this piece together. 7, 6, 3, and we come down to this point over here. We have to complete it, right? The diamond that fits in the center over here. Well, if I stroke, put one stroke over here, then go up. I'm gonna have to do this for you. I'm still on my stand. Let's design this for you. I have 1,000,001 things to do. I don't know if I'll get any of them done or one of them done, but son of a gun, I'm gonna get one done now. Let me put down this, yeah, that's inside the apartment over here. How can I get this camera to go down? Thank you, Jamie, very much. Capable of buying my equipment. And we're going to draw a line underneath the 3. Okay? And then I'm going to draw a line up. And then I'm going to either draw a line up here. Hey, a line up. And I get my first decahedron. And my first decahedron will run into these two numbers over here. And this is just a replica. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I went 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't know if I should put it this way. I don't know if I should just start 1, 2, 3 again. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because the only place they split on the roulette wheel is when 16 is over here. 1 and 6 is 7. And 19 is over here. 1 plus 9, 10. So it starts over. And though it's starting over at 1, you think it's going higher. When after 7 it goes lower. 7 and 1 come together. When 7 and 7 come together over here, that creates your 5 and that creates your bonding Christ. Okay? Even in the roulette wheel, when it starts over, nothing gets flipped. Nothing gets flipped like this, but I'm going to flip it. Okay? Almost as if you're going 36, 34, 35, 36, which is 7, 8, 9. The roulette wheel is finished. So I'm going to flip a board and go the opposite way, and I'm going to go 34, 35, 36. Or should I be going 36, 35, 34? And then you'd have 10, you'd have 10 here and 6 here, so you'd have a 7, right? 34, 36, 6 and 4 is 10, right? So 10 is 1 plus 0 is 1. 3 and 3 is 6. We now have 61, or we have a 7. We now have the church. So depending how we flip-flop our numbers, because I'm not sure where I'm going with this, I have to make all the equations, right? You got to mix up all the potions to find out which one works. So here's the beginning. And then here's to stay in line and use the next angle. Here's my next dodecahedron. So I will now connect the top. You notice I can only connect the top when the shape becomes a 2D like. So I end up connecting my 66. I do not connect my 99 because that is a halfway in between space. Do you follow? It starts here, the corner, and it works up to here. This would be my half space to come and crisscross these 9s over here. So there's a respect. You have to respect the law of these squares. You know when they say, well, I can't make it any smaller? Well, choose more squares and then say times 4 because you chose more squares. So when you say gematria, okay, A equals 6 is because maybe I used 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3 and that's my 6, and now I have to use an area of 9 spaces because I have to get my 6 out of that. Do you follow what I'm saying? 6 numbers will create this design. 4 numbers will create that design. Isn't it funny that we create a square with 4 numbers, but with 2 more dots? Look, 1 dot, 2 dots, 3 dots, 4 dots. I tell no lies. I created 4 dots in a square. I just add on 2 more dots and I got myself a rectangle. Now, I can't, how do I create the dodecahedron? Is I'll connect this dot to this dot. Then I'll continue the line here, and I'll continue the, let me see the line here. I'm just trying to see if I have that line there. Oh yes, I have that line here, and I continue the line here. Is that where the line goes? Did I get in between that square? And then I'll have to automatically bring my line back up and come back down because according to the design. So I have my dodecahedron here, and there's other designs and realities and obligations you will make because of this. And I think I did a little work on it, although sometimes I don't always have the answer. I just want to show you that maybe I can, hold on a second. 1 second. Can you see the floor? There's different numeric calculations that create these designs. And those are my 2 aliens, by the way, in the center right down there. 2 aliens, all the eyes. Those are obligations brought to you by games. So now I'm going to put this video back up here. I know I'm moving around a lot. I'm far from professional, and I'm definitely not spending, thank you, Mr. Owens, 500 million, 20 hours to create one video, because I do 2, 3, 4, 5 videos in a day. That means it's going to take me 6 days to finish my 1 day's video. See what happens when you work alone? 6 days working alone to finish each of my videos. If it takes me 20 hours to do a video, so we have to understand how it breaks down, how one person's work needs. I create blueprints. Now you have to build the pieces to fit to the blueprints to be able to create what the end result of what I've created with those blueprints, right? Like you want to build a house. Oh my God, look, I got sticks. All over are sticks. All the sticks are different sizes. And for each stick and for each room, I need area space. Doesn't go in the middle, it goes in the corner. Where do you put up a wall? Is your wall in the middle of the room? You got a stick stand, you're going to put a wall? No, because once you put up a wall, you now have a wall. You don't have a room, you have the division of the room. Are we delivering the electricity? We're not putting the electricity in the middle of the room. We're delivering it to have it on the extremities. Walls are on the extremities of a voided area space. Dodecahedron shows me that that area is 2 and 7. 9 times 8 is 72, Miss Levette. Brown is 72, Miss Levette. You flip over 72, you flip over 9 to a 6, and it becomes 6 by 8 because the 9 and 8 gets flipped over to a 6. So you went from the 9 family, the I and R, to the 6 family, to the FOX. Mars, 9 Lives of the Cat, 80. So important, it tells the story. Where do I get 80? First of all, the reverse of this dice, what is it? Says 2. 2 and 6 will create the 8. If 2 and 6 create the 8, that means the opposite of 2 is 5. What's the opposite of 6? 1. So my 6 and 5, 11. Opposite of 1 and 2 is the 6 and 2 opposite to the 5. To the 1 and the 5. There's my 6. There's my 11. There's my 8. My 11 on one side. You have, hold on a second, how can I get this in? You have the 11 on this side. You have the 1 and 2 on this side. You have the 11 on this side. You have the, hold on a second, where's that 6? You have the 6 and 2 here. This corner gets 6 and 2. While that corner gets 6 and 2, the opposite corner will get 6 and 5. While the underneath will get 1 and 2, and the opposite corner will get 1 and 5. 1 and 2, 1 and 5. Now the 4, I'd have to turn it this way. So there's my 2, 4. There's my 1 and 5. 2, 4, 1, and 5. Remember now, I don't even know how I came to this. I did in a video yesterday, brown, 9 times 8, 72, 72 brown. Now, please take into mind, I have so many things. They're on so many different pages. I look back to a page. When I start looking back and I see something else, it takes me off track. So your 9 times 8, Miss Levette, you're 72. Ever since you opened up that gate, I've been seeing so many more things. 39 minus 12, okay, creates 27. 27 is your dodecahedron. Okay, it's an absolute. The design is right in here. Unless my son didn't watch it on TV, I wouldn't see it. It's right here. Take it from me. I showed you in the designs, okay? And if you want to see the designs, I just did a video. 18 and 9, the I and R letter, will create your 27. Your reverse 27 is 72 brown. How do you create these numbers easily? We have to know how we created these numbers. We created it by 9 by 8 and 3 by 9. I already did it here. Now I took up more space. I shouldn't do that. I don't have enough space to waste. Thank you, Jamie, for letting me get all my equipment here. So here's my designs. Now we want to know in the 10s, in the 20s, in the 30s, in the 40s, in the 50s, in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s, and in the 90s. To create the 90, you need 4 20s and a 10. To create the 80, you need 4 20s. To create the 70, you need a 60 and a 10. To create the 60s, you just need the 60s, but you need 30 times 2. What do you do for 1 and 2? These are natural. These are natural. They automatically come with the 8 and 7 void. When you play the game Baccarat, if you have 7 versus 7, you will stand. If you have a natural 8 versus a 7, you will stand. If you have a 6 against a 7 or an 8, you will stand. 7, 8, or 9, you will stand. But when you have a 4 with a 5 and a 6 mixed up, you will pull a card. With a 7 and a 5, only the 5 will get a card. It's telling you, because this is telling you how we get the numbers. They didn't create a game that didn't say how to create the numbers. Look at what's happening. Look at the equation. And from the equation, I understand this is the way Baccarat, the game, would be made. 2 by 27 is 50 for the sun. 4 by 27 is 3 times 36. 3 by 27, we've now reached Venus. 9 times 8, 72. 27 times 3 is now Venus. 72 times 3. Well, maybe I don't want to do this. I got to write nice. I need to see my square writing. Times 3 equals 216. That's your birth. That's your birth. The completed 24 that gets added on, it becomes your life. 216, I regard that as your birth. The 21 cube into the mind of 6 man, the 60 seconds on the clock, to the 1/6 half-life, to the 91 spirit, to the 92 yellow soul. Why do I say this? Because I flip them upside down. I can do that. As well, the 2 becomes more than just a 2. Do you know what happens when I take a 2 and add 1 to it? I get a 4. But since there's a center over here, you just have to drag that line. It'll tell you the same thing. There's my 4 over here. This is the point. You know what's funny about this point? The reason for a loop is because, hey, look, see this over here? This is a reader. The reader, you're going all around the reader and going all the way out. If I just had a straight line, there is no reader. Whoop, I went on by. That's it. It's over. No time. You spend an extra time going around the loop. So we spoke about this. We spoke about this. We got 81. 81 and 81 is 162. Same thing. Again, your birth, but it's the half-life and the queen. Something to do maybe controlling the birth. I don't know how that goes. What is the 4? The 4, your 4 corners. You add on 2 more, it looks like you have 2 cubes that are linked together, although it would be 4 and 4, right? This 4 and that 4. But what if it was just this? And what if it was just this? And the only reason they came together is because of this. This this, this, and this. Now your 4 link together. Your 4 link and your 8. So where is your 6? How does your 6 work out of the design? Remember, you're on the cross. I'm just trying to put the relationship of how we can create this. Where do we create our 5? Is it empty space, empty space, empty space, empty space? The 5 is now the center of all empty spaces? I don't know. I'm asking the question. That's all. Just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. And in this design over here, if you want to create your the dodecahedron, what you do is, I'm going to get a sharper pencil. Wow, I can't believe I lost my I didn't lose it, I misplaced it. I don't understand why I keep doing that. I mean, I'm sitting right next to everything, you know. I can show you where I'm looking. I'm looking here, and if you see it, I can use a little bit of help. I'm looking for my sharpener. I can't believe I can't find my sharpener. Wake up. Okay, we won't use the sharpener. I'll choose another pencil. I'll choose this pencil, and let's get back down to the drawing board. So and I can draw the tetrahedron, right? You see here, right? Here, 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 and we have just drawn our dodecahedron right here. And we're left with this area space. Well, this area space that's left over in the dodecahedron, or whatever you want to call it, okay, hold on a second. I know it's a long time and I'm not going to redo this video. Boy, oh boy. Now I don't even remember what I'm looking for, right? 2 and 7. Okay, it looks like I'm not finding it. Since I can't find it because I'm like this many pages and this many pages in the last couple of days. You know, there's like 20 pages here of everything is interconnecting. I keep coming up with the same reality where the Jesus and the 3 pigs keep coming together. 114 and 74. The difference is 40 blue. So I'm going to show you, and I'm quite sure it's here from yesterday, and it's very, very frustrating that I can't find it. And the numbers are 8. Oh, I just want to show you this one thing. I'm gonna do it here. I'm gonna do it here. The number is let me do this. Each one gets a square, right? Give me a square here. Give me a square here, and then get me a square here again, and get me. Should I do it this way? Yeah, I'll do it this way. And get me a square here again. And these squares are special because what I'm going to do is I am going to this connection over here. Okay, I need one more connection over here. And this one, don't count this one. Let's do this. Whoop, my camera. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me take off this line. Okay, I don't want this line down here. Okay, yeah, I sound so unprofessional, terrible the way I'm, but you're getting me as I design. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go from here to here. Then I'm going to go from here to here, and from here to here, and here to here. So you've seen absolutely nothing, correct? Okay, I restarted it. I did it right the first time, and this is what it is. This is number 10. We take 10 and we connect it to 8. We take 8, okay, and we connect it to 11. We take 11 and we connect it to 13. And we take 13 and we connect it back to number 10. And you notice the way the cut line in between, which is a 17 to 1 line. 1 and 7 is 8. That is your gateway, 17 to 1. 17, and keep the chip that you needed there as your doorway, the 1 chip to get into the passage. Does this look like the, this is the dodecahedron. You notice the depending on where you start to create it, and that's your Mayan mask. There's a Mayan design that will have a mask that will look a little bit like this Indian mask. And this is the obligation because of numbers. You like the way they stand nice and strong. Okay, so we did this part over here. The hedron is over here. Tetris pieces, but these Tetris pieces, they can be switched. If you flip this upside down, this Tetra piece would be G, H, I, and E. If this one was flipped upside down, okay, this one and this whole piece can move and can become A, B, D, G, or it can be flipped to the side and it can be G, H, I, and E. This one over here, right? I know I'm off the things, but you know what? I passed in front of it, so I'm going to show you. If we flip this, I'm going to show you all the ways you flip it. If you let me, I'm making it small. Okay, and then this would be A, B, C, and this one over here would be D. And now if I flip it again, I'm going to do this the easy way. This way, we can have, sorry, not that way, I just did it that way over here. We're going to put it this way over here. And if I put it this way over here, this can be B, C, F, and I. So all your Tetris pieces, as you turn them in different angles, they're going to tell you different stories, and different letters go with it because of A, B, C. Okay, so now we're going to, camera's still going. Obligations in art. I just love this design. I don't know what it means yet. Don't know what it means yet. Whoop, you didn't even get to see what I just did. I just added in a little black here, that's all. Sometimes I understand the artists that are out there, and they don't fill it all in to give it depth. Like this one, in order to, I'm not really sure if I make just a little curvature in it, your eye, right? Your magic eye on your head, your magic eyes, yeah. Your magic eyes are going to tell you that there's more depth inside of this. So how do I see a larger depth? What do I have to do with my lines to see a larger depth and what's actually happening, right? Off into the sunset. I don't know. I don't know. We're in 24 minutes, and usually people watch my videos for about 90 seconds. But I have to do this on my own. Again, the dodecahedron, all we need to do is add the cap on top. Each one of these, okay, is a half space. The center line is the half space between both lines. If you can notice, see the square here? See the way the line passes through it? The line passes on the bottom of that square and on the top of that square. So automatically I need 3 spaces. If it was straight, I can only do 2. But if it's on an angle, I have to have 3. 2 and 3. And when you do 3, we end up with that square over here. When we do 2, we end up with that square like that, an 8. This one will be a 1, 0. This one will end up being my double 0. So we'll put my 1, 0 over here. And I'll create my design that way. Right, just like they show you in roulette. But in roulette, this design would be actually this size over here. I think it would be 5 by 2 or something, and it'd be more up here. This would have to be a 4 block. I didn't do that right. Do you understand? Anyways, I'm off subject. If it was roulette, it's because of the sizing of the area space they use in roulette. Okay. I'm not pausing it. I know this is long. If somebody wants to go out and redo this video, here is into the powers and what the powers do. And one thing about this is that there's a mathematical equation that you just find out the actual power. Okay, this one is 49, and you'll go to a number and you'll say, okay, this ends with 9. Right? You remember, this ends with 9, this ends with 4, this ends with 1. Where else does it end with 1? Right here. So we now take A and I and bring it together because they end with 1. B and H end with 4. G and C end with 9. 3 and 7 end with 9. F also ends with a 6. So does D. D and F end with a 6. And here, this one ends with a 5. But we have 7, 7. The D, 4 times 4 equals 7. And the E, 5 times 5 equals 7. And what's funny about this one is number 52 is for the word 6. And 6 goes with 1. 6 and 1 come together right over here. So anyways, we're still going on and on. Let me get back to where I was. Where was the dodecahedron? Where am I in my design? I'm putting it on my pause for a 2-minute break. So on and on we move. Now there's a new thing out there that in Australia, it's raining like crazy. So first we have the forest fires. Now we have the rain and the conspiracy theories. And just remember one thing. These theories have been going on forever. Because how can... I'm not going to write like this, but I'm going to write like this. The story, to continue the story, I need this point over here and this point over here. I'm not going to write like this. Eventually, I'll tap in, and automatically this will break off if I keep doing this, and I'll end up at this area over here. I don't know how long it'll take, which is telling me that over periods of time, the ink might leak out of this and I'll upside down in the pen, and I'll be able to smudge with my fingers. That everything you hear, you must think of the opposite. We were talking about roulette and the numbers in the dodecahedron, and it's right over here. And this number is either it is 8 and it can be 26. The number over here is 10 and as well 28. The number over here is 13 as well 31. I should have put the 28 over here. And the number over here, no, it's not that number, it's this over here. It is 11 and 29. 2 and 6, 8, 9 and 2, 11, 2 and 8, 10, 1 and 3, 1 and 3, 4. So this is where your phi is going to come in. Comes in over here. Over here comes 11. Okay, 66 roadway, Interstate 80. Over here is 88. I call it H and H. I call it the connecting operator. I call it the God, the dog. Here's your birth, right over here. This corner is your birth, right over here. Your birth in the heavens as 10 and phi. What does phi have to do with us? Because 369 is over here. But if I connect my 8 and 13, 21. If I connect my 10 and my 11, 21, 33 to the mass. My 11, my 13 and my 11 equals 2402. Wow, it's a number to the farm. And if I connect the 10 with the 8, that is my 18. All zeros get 6 plus 6, 24. In fact, it's 4, 5, 6. But in order, we can't use 4 or 5 because 4 and 5 are already inside the 6 and brings on the half-life. You see, the opposite of the 6 getting the 1 light. The 1 light is exposed in 5. The 4 is already located in the 4 corners of the 6. So therefore, I get everything. And since 6 is opposite of 1, everything around it is 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my free pass. 1, 5, 6 is my free pass. 6, 2, 1, my free pass. And the other way around, you see there's no connection except for that one connection. See the 3 dot, the 1 dot, and the 3 dot, they come together. We run it this way. When we run it this way, it's a different story. It's the 5 coming together with the 3 dot, the 5, the 5, the 4, the 3. The 5 and the 3 come together, electric company. When we run it the other way, the 3 and the 1 come together, AM. That's our God, I am who I am, this way right here. And it's all through, well, we weren't going to do 2 and 5. I was running 6 and 1, right? I was either running around the 6 this way, or I was running around, see the 6 turning around, staying in the same position? When I do it this way, the 6 disappears. This is the roulette wheel, okay? Now, how does dodecahedron fit into this, okay? First, did we understand the numbers we ended up with? This way and this way, I end up with 18, and over here I end up with 24. 24 plus 18, 24 minus 18. This one will equal to 69. Sorry, I was looking at something else. Whoa, this one will equal to 18 and 42. 2 and 4, 6, and this one will equal to 0, 6. So we have 6, we have 3. So when we start connecting this, we just end up with 3, 6, 9. Did I do these two? 31 and 31 and 13 is 44. 31 and 13 is 44. And this one equals to an 8, up and down. Up and down over here, where we get 8 and 11, 19, that equals to a 10. 10 and 8 is my 18. 1 and 8 come together, and now I run with my 1. Before I run with 2, 1, now I run with my 1. Are we following this? Does anybody understand? I'm adding up the value of these two numbers. This one over here is 10. This is 13. That's 23. 10 and 13. That's 23. That is where my 5 comes together. 10 and 13. I didn't add that one. I did 13 and 11. I didn't do 10 and 13. So let's do this again. 13 and 10. 13 and 11. When it's 11, the line is like this. When it's 10, the line is like this. So this will tell me Z. Maybe it will tell me N. This one over here tells me that it connects 10. It's a straight line. So that would be my I and my H, because we now have 10 next to 11. So we put a dot here and a dot here. Since we're connecting up to the 8 over here and down over here, anyways, too many lines. I'm messing up my page. I'm not very happy with this. You all get the drift. If you don't get the drift, we're going to have to do a TED Talk or something. Someone's going to have to set me up so we can get out there. I made a hole in my page. I'm not very happy. I wish I can go over this again. In roulette, go look at the roulette wheel. Okay, I wish I had, do I have one board? Tell me I have a board somewhere. Oh, I do. I have a board, right. I have a board right here. I have a board. See, I need the clock turner. I need this turner. This turns at one thing. This moves on another. Just doing the same thing they did. Just folded it over. Right, just fold it over my Indian house pyramid. Should I have 3 walls? 3 different parts at time? Should I split this over here and put a third one in? And we'll have 3 clocks running on the same, see the same core? Just have to put a cap on that core, right? Oh my God, look what's inside of, oh man, the roof opens up. Oh my God, so you drill a hole in the center on the bottom, but it comes out to the center of this. Now, since it comes out the center, what design should it make? What roadway should I be taking? Okay, I want to understand that roadway again. I've done this before. So anyways, we're going to get to the betting pattern of the numbers. Okay, here's the betting pattern of the numbers. So if you want to find 13, you have number 13 over here. Wait a second. I want to use the 2 green zeros because that's the wheel I comprehend. In this one over here, okay, it's chaotic. But in this one over here, it was made to actually fit the system we live. 9 and 30, 39, 26, 11, 37, 7 and 32, 39, 32 and 5, 37, 5 and 34, 39. So it's all 37, 39. And 37 is talking about position 3 is on the right and position 7 is on the left. It creates a 10, which creates a 1. 39, 3 and 9 is 12. 12 is on the right. 1 and 2 creates a 3. 1 and 3, that is God who I am, created in perfection to the flower of life and not the chaos. They perfected everything when they came to America from Britain. And the roulette wheel shows this change. 28:32, from beta creation into time heaven of the birth, from Mars and the spirit into the God of creation, from the delta angle and you to 11 and being with Jesus Christ, from the beta world to the gateway, from earth to the lower God, 2 times 6, 2 plus 6. From the gateway again, creating the gateway to the heavens, the 32, beta creation. Look where beta creation shows up. So beta creation shows up, boom, 32, over to now the gateway, to where we had earth, the gateway to the DC world. And on this side, we have number 17. 17, 17 is your 34. Here we have 6 and 5 opposite each other. 6 is telling us about the half-life or the extended life. The extended life, because of this reality, the roulette wheel is showing us this to a life and not this to a life. Although this is separate boxes just to write your numbers, it's telling you about this. And what does this do compared to this? It's when I connect my 1, 2, 3, 4 dots together. Forget about the half-life dots. I just made this a little bit larger. We're going to forget about this, right? There's 2 dots over here and 2 dots over here. Here is my complete 8. Here is my 3/4. I'm just boxing it in, showing me the 6. The in-between 6 of the cube. The in-between 6 of the cube, where we have 9 areas. So now I'm going to show you a little bit smaller. Okay, we have a square here, 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 and a square here, and that's my 6. That's my real, this is what roulette is showing me on their betting scheme. That's my real 6. It's not this. Is it this 6 over here that I should be seeing? No, this is the square 6. This is the actual 6 I need, is it not? Because if I make this 6, this reality of this 6, this 6 will be right over here, of a possible 9, but these 3 are the half space between here and here. But so is this, the half space. But you're living in between the heavens. And now we just keep adding dots and keep talking about the reality of the story. This is the dodecahedron, and these are the obligation lines. These are the lines showing that I'm making a passage halfway in between. At the same time, when you come in between the squares, you see this is coming in between a square. This is a 17-to-1. I jump from here to here because this area here, where the shape of this, and he's shown that there's one that's higher up, and the reason it's higher up is because the shape is expanded, telling you a different story, right? You have to add on one more square in the dodecahedron that is created from the story I saw. But in this story, this becomes the Star of David. This piece over here shows me it's the Star of David. It's the exact same design. Now the question is, does this, I don't know if I want to go with that. If I folded this, if I kept creating this same thing and keep connecting them together and folded it, what design will I get next? What is the angle of that fold? And remember, calculations is all times 36. 10 degrees times 36 is 360 degrees. We are given guidelines in life that we've been running through in weights and measures for eternal time that I know it, except for the change of for the matrix system, but that doesn't matter. So let's just see if I can go down this roulette wheel a little bit more. I just want to see some of the numbers that show up. We have I am who I am to the red son of man, 1776, and here's my 9 times 8 red brown. AM 36 meets Mars. 11 meets red ball and pull. Beta in creation, because 3 is a combination of 11. 1 and 1 is 2. Even though you don't see it, I have to use it as 1 and 1 is 2. Two separate squares. Look, see the way that goes? Boom. I got a square and a square here. I only got 4 on here, but the separating lines of the 4. So maybe if I move this cube, it's going to tell me a story. Here's a cube. It's 6. Here's a cube. 627. Here's a cube. 34 and 6. Well, when I get 34 and 6, when I get 34 and 6 on this side, I get 17 and 5. But what if I had to play with 3 dice? Sick bow. What if I had to put 1 here and 1 here and 1 here, 1 like this, 1 like this, 1 like this, and 1 like this? So now I would be joining. I'd be joining line 13 and 34, which would intertwine with 36 and 15 to the upper level, and would join the center level, let's call it center 5. 15 would now connect it to 3, in which is now connected from 30. 30 and 24, communication, creation of the day, 9 lives of the cat, into heaven, and boom, this is when 36 shows up. And then in this one, right, we come and we get 00 over here, the center of all. We meet that 00, we meet it at 5. We meet it at the E world red. Don't forget, 10 and 5, the hand of God, now comes together with 100. 0027, 1 and 27. What does they all mean? DNA creation right here. How do we create a 5? 2 times 3, 2 plus 3, and 1 plus 4. And that's inside the design of this. So I don't want to go over this anymore. This is 47 minutes into a video. I'm not sure if I said anything yet. It's not on pause. I'm happy it's not on pause. The donut, the telephone dial, the letter K. Ay, 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 so many things. Here's another thing on security. Security. 3 times 27 Venus. 27 divided by 3, and that is the R letter. 18 Venus. 18 the R letter. Venus is R and I. Create Venus through the R and the I. IR. IR is 27, the 18th letter and the 9th letter for 27. This can be flipped to a 6. This can't be flipped at all. So this can be 87, as well as it can be a total of 90, if I'm calculating these two together. 9 and 8 is 17, but here's my Venus. 2 times 72, 144,000 disciples, 12 tribes. 6 times 12 is 72, the 12 tribes in 72, 60 seconds on a clock and 12. 111 on a clock, 60 seconds plus 11 seconds is 71. Again, your gateway. 72, 71, 72 come together. Don't forget that. 9 plus 8. 9 times 8 equals 17 equals 72. But how's that created? 2 to the power of 3 and 3 to the power of 2 is 9 is 8. How did we create it? 2 times 3, 2 plus 3 equals 6 equals 5 equals 11. So how do we create all of this? The beginning of Fibonacci. Should we start counting up the scale? Fibonacci does other things. I found something yesterday, a number in Fibonacci that slips in. Anyways, and all these things, where do we get this number here? Why? Where? What? Hold on a second. Oh my God, the moon pass. 75 and the half-life 77. Christ. We have a lag in time, 1961, 1991, where there's a period of 30 years of creation, okay, where there was a lag in time because we flipped the 6 era into the 90s. Those lag in time is, and I'm just in between the lag at the beginning, right, 1963 born, 1991 born. What I'm trying to figure out is
those who are the hippies against certain things. There's a lag in time. We were sleeping. I don't know. You want to talk about 7 numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers. In 6 numbers, we have, let's say, 21 cents. Then we have 543. Where we place our dots and our decimals, this is telling me this is the cent. This is telling me this is the dollar. This is the tens of dollars. This is the hundreds of dollars. Positions count. If we were talking binary in the hundreds of dollars, when we get to 1,000, we have 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. We have 32. Number 5 would be right over here. In the 1,000 position would be automatically 5,000. So let's move on and see where else we can get. We talked about this previously. Did we talk about the reduction? 26 gets reduced. We cut it in half and it becomes 13 AM. We turn it into 26. We turn it into the God. 2 times 6, 2 plus 6 equals 12 and 8, and we are now at 20. 20 becomes 26 again. When we say 80, we say 4 times 20 and the half-life, 86. Dividing of the 7th gate. 3 times 8, 3 plus 8, add them, 35, minus them, we have 03. 5 times 5, 5 plus 5, we have the same number. Earth, cat, 21, that comes together on this design here. I'm just looking up and down my numbers. I want to go through the pages one by one for memory. There's still a bunch of things I left out. Number 5, I found a position for number 5 can take up. Here's what we can do with our numbers. The number 2 flipped upside down. Okay, looks like the E letter. The number 2 connected with the number 1 looks like the 4 letter. The 6 flips up into a 9. The 5 flips up into a 2, which flips up into an E. If you double up 8, you end up with 7. The L looks like the 7, but the 7 is also the corner of something. It's an angle, a deeper angle, a 45-degree angle, telling me the sun. So it takes 88 to get to 7, 7 the sun, which is 16 the half-life. 1 times 6, all is 9. Why do they say all is 10? Because of the dot in the center of all of 9 is 5. Do you understand? If one side is all of 9 and the center of all is number 5, times 2 equals 10. 5 and 5. Now the question is, if we connect our 5 and 5, here and here, here's my 9 and here's my 9. We use the same corner, so we're going to cut off from that corner and we automatically create the dodecahedron. And that design. This over here will now extend out and pick up some wings, and we now have the running area to the center of each one, and we have the Star of David decahedron connected to area space 5. There was a couple of more things I'm really upset that I lost. One side to the other, create your football eye. I'm not sure if I should be doing this, but once you have an eye, you can also create a complete circle. But we're throwing a football through a hoop, through an area. You throw a football, it's rising and it's lowering. Anyways, I don't want to talk about that either. For the stragglers that are still here, here is, again, we can relate this to the anything I do, I want to compare to the Mayans. Everything I do is obligations. These are just basic obligations. You take a square, and what can you do? What is logically correct? What you feel is logically correct, and what we do and what will be the consequences. Remember area space. Your pen takes up so much area space, so it's telling me that I have to make it larger and change my number values for the area space I use. And for the angle, angles are funny because it's 0.125 times 4 equals 5. It's 0.333 times 10. I can only bring this to the next level when I multiply it by 10 to become, no, excuse me, by 1,000. By 1,000 I end up with 333 on this side. Is that right? Times 10, times 10, times 10. 10 times 10 times 10. X in bowling equals 30 creation. I got to move this onto the other side. So this one is times 1,000. So this one would be times 1,000. It would be 125. What is the next one? I can't do the quarter. What is the in-between of this one? I don't want to do the in-between. The in-between of this one is 0.06. 125 divided by 2. Where's my calculator? Oh my God, hold on. 0.0625. So since it's now I have to move this all the way over, I'm going to have to multiply it by 10,000. 10,000, and this becomes 625 times 5 equals this. Right? Is that correct? 5 times this equals this, but this was 10,000 times. Christaberg, 10,000 souls are on the line. When you have 10,000, remember where the decimal marks go for pennies. When we have 10,000, when you have 10,000, you have 5 numbers, right, on the left side of the dot. When you have 10,000, all I have is 625 over here. 375 to make it perfect. It says gun, and that's the number to the clock. 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. When do I have to use 10,000? When do I have to use 1,000? When do I have to use 100? Here's my 3 little piggies. 1,000. It's the first time. And this is what 3s make me obligated to do it. All imperfect numbers make me obligated. Can we choose another number? At what point will we be able to get a 2? If it ends in a 2, I need to use 5 times 2. If it ends with a 4, okay, I can use 5 times 4. Or 1.5 times 4 equals to a 6. Sorry, I have to move it completely over. What numbers do I have to use? What do I have to have over here to move it onto this side? Let me just use a paper that I'm not going to use again. 0.148. Just taking any odd number. How can I get this to this side? Times 5. 5 by 8, 40 is a 0. Okay, 5 by 4, 20 and 4. 5 by 1, 5, and the 2 is 740. Now I don't have the imperfect number, okay? I only have 2 digits to move. I don't need to move this. So it's times 100. This one over here made it perfect. Times 4 made it a perfect 5 number. This is the halfway. Times 8 equals to 1. See the way number 15 for Mars, how we arrive at 15 for Mars? This is your memory. When you multiply it, I become at the heart of numbers. Right over here. Unless I was using this square and this is also your 2 cube. And your 1 cube, they're knocked out. The 1 square and the 4 squares, what's the difference? What's the difference? If I want to connect these to get together, I now have my hexagon inside what is the dodecahedron if I square it off this way. But then I'm barring a corner. So I don't want to get this. There's a lot of mathematics that go in this, and I'm not connected to that. This also, we already did this design, and this is going to bump into Rodin's COIL. I did this based on the game of Monopoly. Okay, So in jail, visiting jail. We are the visitors in Monopoly. The visiting jails in Monopoly. You are in jail, get out of jail, or the visitor. 59 minutes into the video. So do you understand? I'm bringing this to perfection. Either it's going to be a 5 or a 10 inside of this. So this number that I did on this paper, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 9, and 1. I'm going to, 1, I think, and 3 I'm going to leave out. 5 times 2 equals 10. 5 times 4 equals 20. 6 times 5 equals 30. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 7 equals 28. 8. 5 times 8 equals 40. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 0. Never. 10. I got 90. Only at 10 can I do that. 60. Only at 10 can I do that. 3. Only at 30 can I do that. 1. Only at 10 can I do that. Obligations. Obligations. I need to either have a 0. I can pass over here. 4 by 7, 28. 2 plus 8. 10. So we now have 2 and 6 that come together as 10. I need the 0 over here. This is to be full change. I can't explain it. I don't know it. It just has to be. That's the way it is. I haven't created a situation exactly that it has to, well, I did create the situation it has to be in. It has to be in, once you multiply it, now that it's moved over one number and it is whole, it can be reduced. Okay, by multiply a 10 by 10, we have to move it all over to the plus position. So by multiplying it by 5, that makes the equation, and then you move it over and you're moving over a perfect number. You don't want to move over an imperfect number, so we can position it somewhere on one of these boards. If you tell me number 1 and 2, I'm going to say, sorry, the light. I'm going to say 1 and 2 are right in this corner over here. If you're playing Monopoly, okay, in order to get out of a square, each place in Monopoly is rectangular except for the corners. This is not the Monopoly board. I didn't break it down to be. The corners have 4 areas. If I have to start in a corner, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 9 by 2, 18. And 422 and 426. Actually, Monopoly is 26. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, right, there's missing a thing. It's 26. Monopoly. 26 and 26. 52. And then in between here is 18 and 18. 36. 52 and 36. 88. 88, 88. Rodans, COIL. Mayan design. You get this by flipping corners, and then, or you can get it other ways. Like I said, before my son started to watch the things on the dodecahedron, you can create it right over here. Boy, the further extension of this area over here. Anyways. I don't even want to look. I don't want to write anymore. Hour and 4 minutes. That's it. That's all. I don't even know what I said. I'm just hoping somebody put a thumbs up. Somebody liked my videos. I'm getting 1 and 2 likes. I'm getting no views. There's nobody seeing me. Am I already doing what's happening all over the world? Have I said anything different than somebody else that's smart? I'm using all their information. Has somebody said what I said the way I said it and put in the ideas that I have because of the relationships and the truth that come from the games that people play, that people created, that are selling all over the world, even in your Walmart store? Oh my God, I'm promoting Walmart.
I've got someone at the door. Gotta go.